Let me greet all listeners, and let me also express our condolences to the family of the regional chairman of MPP Central Region and the entire MPP fraternity. We've lost a very indefatigable regional chairman, and the situation is not all well with us as a party in the region. That notwithstanding, let me respond to your question. Yes, it is indeed confirmed that the party in Agona West has taken this decision to expel 280 individuals or persons. Some of them are party officers, some of them are members of the party. They have been expelled from the party as per Article 3, 8, and 9 of the NPP's Constitution 2017 as amended. And so that is what the party has done. And from the communique, we indicated clearly that these individuals supported the independent candidate, which is Honorable Cynthia Morrison, in the 2024 elections. And as we are all aware, per the MPP's constitution, if anybody contests as an independent candidate against the duly elected candidate of the party, that person automatically forfeits his or her membership. And again, if any person supports an independent candidate or any other candidate other than the duly elected candidate of the party, that person also forfeits his or her membership. And so what has happened is just an enforcement of the constitution that governs the New Patriotic Party in Agona West constituency. So that's exactly what we have done. And because of the critical nature of the decision, politics is about numbers, and everybody would have thought that's why, whilst we are looking for numbers, why would you expel 280 people at this time? But when you come to Agona West, the situation is the same. Let me state that these are a group of people who have consistently decided not to support any duly elected candidate of the party. And they did that in 2012, they did that in 2016, they did that in 2020, whilst the leadership of the party tries every effort to ensure that they act responsibly. The situation is getting out of hand. And what happened in 2024 elections, I think the best thing is to just expel them from the party so that there will be sanity, there will be discipline in the party. It looks as if because they do it consecutively, they do it every year, and nothing is done to them. And so people think that even when I join them, nothing can be done to me. And so I think that is the best decision that the party has taken. And this is in the interest of the party. Like everybody is saying, we are rebuilding the party. And these are some of the things that we have identified, and we think that it will help us to rebuild the party very well in Agona West. Because you can't tell me that the people who have consistently, the surprising thing is that in 2016, these same people campaigned against Honorable Cynthia Morrison. In 2020, they campaigned against Honorable Cynthia Morrison. But in 2024, when Honorable Cynthia Morrison lost and then decided to go as an independent candidate, they left the duly elected candidate and supported the candidate they had campaigned against in 2016 and 2020. That tells you their agenda for the party in the constituency.
This expulsion comes at a very critical time, and just as you've narrated. But the question a lot of people are asking is, why this period? I mean, there was a long period for these processes to have been done, and perhaps maybe the expulsion could have happened. But why now?
Yes, we had wanted to take the decision or to expel as per the party constitution before the election, but we looked at certain things and decided to hold on because of the pending elections. And now that we are done with the elections, we are reviewing the outcome of the elections, and I think this is the time to take such a decision. And like when you look at the composition of the meeting, it's made up of very respected and key stakeholders of the party in the constituency. We have the founding members of the party. We are fortunate to have them alive. They were part of the meeting. We have former constituency secretaries. We have former constituency executives. We have the council of elders and the patrons at the meeting. We have the electoral area coordinators there. Then we have the disciplinary committee members present at the meeting, and as well as the constituency executives. And so we have weighed the pros and cons of the whole thing, the effect of the expulsion, and we have come into a conclusion that this will rather help the party.
Now, don't you also believe that your party's inaction to expel these people, before the election, contributed to the massive loss in that constituency?
Expelling them before elections? We didn't expel them before elections.
I'm saying that wouldn't that have been the conversation if it had happened earlier?
Oh yeah, that is why we didn't want to create. When you are going for elections, you need to be very careful. We didn't want to create any tension in the constituency around that period, and that is why we held on to the decision, and then we went for the election, lost the election, and when we look at even the outcome, everything, the data tells us that they did not even vote for the presidential candidate, even if they were going against the parliamentary candidate. We expected to go for the presidential candidate, but the data indicated that they didn't even vote for the presidential candidate because Honorable Zinta Morrison had 7,000 votes, and so one would expect that the vote difference between the presidential candidate and Chris Atta, which is the parliamentary candidate, should be around 7,000. But the situation is different. So I think this is the best decision for the party. And who am I to go against the decision taken by this composition of persons who were at the meeting?
Another question that is lingering in the minds of people is, after this, some of the people have said that this is raising concerns about your internal democracy. Now, I want to find out from you, how does the NPP plan to ensure that party members and the grassroots are also level-headed so that these conversations about supporting these candidates when the constitution prohibits not to support does not continue? What does it say about your internal democracy then?
I think that we have to intensify the education on the party's constitution so that party people would know and understand the repercussions of any action that they take. And so I think it's one of the things that we have to do, and then mindful of the kind of persons we select as party officers, the polling station officers and the electoral area coordinators, as well as the constituency officers and the regional officers. I think this is something that the party must take it serious. I have always held the view that when you win elections, or before you win elections, it depends on those who work at the grassroots level. And so if you don't get the right people who will be very committed and dedicated to work at the grassroots level assiduously, you can't win elections. And so there's something that we're going to do. And well, like I said earlier, we are going to intensify our education on the party's principles and the constitution of the party so that people would know and understand the repercussions of whatever action that they take. And so if you take any action, you are very much aware. That does not mean that these individuals who took the action or decided to support an independent candidate didn't know the repercussion of their actions. They knew very well, and then they decided to go for it. And so we have just enforced the party's constitution, and this is not a new thing. It is black and white and under Article 3, 8 and 9 of the NPP's constitution.
And now maybe finally, before I let you go, today your party held a press conference and, organized a meeting, and they say that they want to do a self-introspection, to within the party to make sure that certain irregularities that happened before the election are, not brought out again. in the next election. Now, in your assessment, how deeply does the NPP need to rethink its strategy and also in terms of leadership structure to regain public trust and voter support, especially considering the electoral results that almost shook everybody, including your flag bearer?
Yes, if you had me well in my last presentation or what I said before your question, I mentioned that the party is in the right direction, though, that the party is doing a retrospection of whatever happened. And I think that's the best thing every serious political party will do. And we expect that the party will do a very good retrospection so that whatever accounted for the loss of the elections will be unraveled. Then also I mentioned that elections are won at the polling stations level, and I am always of the view that the party should pay much attention to the selection process of the polling station officers, the electoral area coordinators, and the constituencies officers, especially the polling station officers, because they are the best people who are directly or who have direct contact with voters within the constituency and across the country. And I think that is what the party should pay much attention to. The selection process may be a bit problematic, and so you find everybody coming on board and then gets the position, and then after getting the position sits by. And if that happens, obviously you cannot win election with a person who gets a position. Let me give you an example. Sometimes you see a polling station officer who is a secretary of a police station but is living outside Agona West. How then do you expect the person to work?
Nana, it has been a pleasure having you on the back of this conversation. We'll try so hard again to engage you in subsequent broadcasts again. It has been a pleasure.
All right.
We have been speaking to Nana Kwame J. He's a research and elections officer of the NPP in the Aguna West constituency. But let's do some more election-related stories. Now, the member of parliament elect for Akuapem North constituency, Sammy Ewuku, has reassured his constituent of his commitment to fulfilling all the campaigns and his campaign promises, particularly in the area of job creation for youth. He spoke during a Thanksgiving ceremony at the Grace Presbyterian Church in Akropong.
The New Patriotic Party NPP not winning the presidency, Ewuku remains dedicated to supporting local businesses and creating youth-centered skills development program. These initiatives aimed to create jobs for the unemployed youth in the area, on timely alleviating poverty among constituents. Sammy Ewuku also encouraged party faithfuls to stay united behind the party rather than being disheartened by the election outcome. He expressed his determination to work with his team to reclaim the Akuapem South constituency seat for the NPP in the 2028 elections.
On this race, okay, Akuapem North and Akuapem South. Indian Akuapem South network. Now, so minimum. You be able to claim the Akuapem South for them. You don't never give Komopi. You don't must not get the president and MP. And so, Yamini Stream, Yenya,
Well, away from the NPP, the NDC Elections Director for Ablekuma North, Daniel Yao Tonigan, has dismissed claims by the Electoral Commission suggesting that the recollation of results for Ablekuma North was suspended due to missing pink sheets. In a media briefing, he stated that these allegations are baseless.
Our position. The NDC in Ablekuma North has overturned the result with hard work and vigilance and will. Therefore, not accept any attempt to undermine or overturn the decision of over 70,000 voters here in this constituency. The NPP parliamentary candidate and her team admitted not processing original pink sheets, relying solely on scanned sheets, relying solely on scanned copies. Yesterday, to not processing original pink sheets, relying solely on scanned copies. Yesterday, Saturday the 20th, is our position. The NDC in Ablekuma North has overturned the result with hard work and vigilance and will. Therefore, not accept any attempt to undermine or overturn the decision of over 70,000 voters here in this constituency. The NPP parliamentary candidate and her team admitted not processing original pink sheets, relying solely on scanned copies with hard work and vigilance and will. Therefore, not accept any attempt to undermine or overturn the decision of over 70,000 voters here in this constituency. The NPP.
Meanwhile, the NDC parliamentary candidate for Ablekuma North, Irabina Albin, has firmly denied claims suggesting that her declaration was made under duress by the Electoral Commission.
Made it known to all parties involved, and I'm sure his bosses wouldn't be an exception, that they didn't have the full complement of the pink sheets covering all 281 polling stations in Ablekuma North. And this is how come 219 that were certified by all three parties, he declared based on that. So he didn't do the declaration under duress. The media houses were there. I was shocked to hear that the EC said that some returning officers made declarations at the point of being held at gunpoint. I didn't see any of such happening in Ablekuma North. I don't know about other places. In the event that there's an error, who determines that error and who rectifies that error? And what is the process? What are the laid down procedures and processes?
Let's do more news here on ABC Prime. Once again, you're watching us live on YouTube. Let us know what you think about it. I am Eric Chinibwa-Melo. Away from that, the president of the Chamber of Local Governance, Dr. Rashid Fiadomo, has raised concerns over the ineffectiveness of peace presidential pact signed by political parties in mitigating election-related violence. According to him, the recent violence indicates an incident that has marred the electoral process are enough evidence to suggest that the pact bore little to no relevance in ensuring peace, and cautioned that future events of similar patterns will not be taken seriously in the next election. His comments comes after a continuous occurrence of post-election violence in various constituencies and the disruption of public properties. Speaking on ABC Midday, Mr. Fiadomo says the violence that has characterized the post-election period has rendered the peace pact irrelevant.
Warning the Electoral Commission not to go ahead and await the ruling from the court. That would have made sense. The people will see that, yes, the Peace Council also intervened. Just that it was as a result of the intransigence of GMENSA and their commissioners. That is why we are seeing what we are seeing. But for you to sit down, not make any comment, not pass any comment, don't say anything, no press release, no press conference, nothing to even caution the public to also await for the court to take final decision. I think that is very, very pronounced, and the Peace Council, they have failed themselves, and I dare say that in the future, we will not take them too serious if they want any peace pact signed, because the peace pact was for the elections. It was before, during, and after So if you can do before, during, and everything is okay, and after you do not care, is it the case that the Peace Council was expecting a particular candidate to win, and because that particular candidate has won, they don't care?
But
is it the case that the Peace Council was expecting a particular candidate to win, and because that particular candidate did not win, they do not care? I do not think that the impression they are giving us, the general public, is a good one, and it obviously will weaken their position come 2028 if they want to call on Ghanaians. The question of warning the Electoral Commission not to do it.
A group by name Alliance for Let My Vote Count has issued a one-week ultimatum to the Electoral Commission to recollate results from 6 astounding polling stations in disputed Suhum parliamentary election. In a press conference held on Monday, December 23, the group expressed dissatisfaction with the delay in resolving the electoral impasse. According to them, the unresolved polling station result hold a potential to influence the outcome of the parliamentary seat and the EC's inaction. We want to have a conversation on the back of this, and joining us, okay, but we'll be that with a conversation after this. Let's take a listen to this.
Independent no onu na yato na ba ma no abazo yato ye no ye quality nyina no onu na na ba edikan a che se wadi kudim na nya bia sabita frache ade anko na Ghana fo mo hwehwe yisi je why mensa why adwuma ama yahu aso ani na wedi anko yie ne amimiti ha enemy Alliance for Let My Vote Count I can say yama dapen ba ko enya dapen mienu one market day say suhuma bato no baby amodi akwo won afa no yenje.
Let's have a conversation on this, and joining us is the General Secretary of the Peace Council, George Amoah. Mr. George, good evening.
Good evening. I'm the Executive Secretary.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, thanks for the correction. Now, one would ask, why has the National Peace Council remained quite silent after the release of GS1 press statements? It's really raising concerns, and some are saying that this probably undermines the council's role in promoting peace and electoral integrity. Do you agree?
Have you fact-checked whether we've issued just one statement? That's not correct. We have issued as many as 13 press statements since December 7th. Okay, go through the records. You know, so those who are making those claims are not going through the history to check what we have done. I think we've done quite a lot before and after the elections. Let me inform you that we have been engaging with all the stakeholders involved in this matter, but we have a limit that we can go. We are mediators. A mediator cannot force anything on any of the parties before them. You see, so if I come to ABC News, there's a conflict between your media house and another media house, and you do not want to agree to the proposals I make. What happens? You see, so that is the difficulty mediators face, and even the courts. You have to adduce evidence. If a witness says, I'm not willing, what can you do? You see, so these are the difficulties we all find. And I can assure you the Peace Council has been up to the task regarding the mandate that the Act establishing the National Peace Council has given it. So I'm not defending myself, I don't defend the Council, but the fact of the matter is that we've been very active. The parties themselves know. The Electoral Commission is fully aware about that. The police administration is fully aware that we have been very, very active in trying to do what we can do in terms of our mandate to ensure we come out of this situation without any violence.
Then the question of visibility then plays a role, because some have argued that prior to this election we saw the visibility of the National Peace Council engaging these political leaders in ensuring peace post and election and all that. But it seems as though, just as you mentioned it, you have released quite a statement, but beyond that, what other actions or measures is the National Peace Council considering so that these post-election violence that have characterized this election are mitigated? Excellent.
So what we are trying to do, every election presents itself with the new dynamics. We've studied. In fact, today we had a board meeting to evaluate the elections. Then we have put up some proposals to consider in ensuring that we do not get ourselves into matters like this. I think one is all about matters of trust. People do not trust the structures, and we have to do whatever we can to rebuild trust, across the. Please, am I still on air?
Absolutely, continue, sir.
Okay, so that is what we are trying to do. We are trying to see immediately what we can do after the swearing in of the president. How do we build trust? Because it's all about loss of trust. People don't trust the system. If we were to trust the system, then I'm not sure there'll be the need for people to mass, at a collation center. It shouldn't be the case. But I want to appeal to all Ghanaians, particularly the youth. We have a future to keep. We should do all that we can to protect the peace of our country, Ghana. We have been applauded by the international community and by our own citizens for doing well in the last elections. I think we should keep to that and not do anything that will destroy this beautiful country. The investment we want, the jobs we want, can only come when the country is at peace with itself, because investors are also watching. They are watching to see whether this country will be able to overcome. If we're able to do that, my sister, I can assure you, the jobs that we all require, we are better positioned to have them than all the neighbors around us.
Mr. Moore, some people have also questioned the relevance of the National Peace Council and the National Peace Pact that you allowed the political parties to sign. For instance, in 2020, some pocket of violence. In 2024, and other issues. I mean, we're still experiencing this. Now, how do you explain or perhaps make people understand the role of the National Peace Council and even trust the council in the coming elections that we yet to experience?
Matters of trust, nobody can force it on anybody. We just have to do our best that we can. You see, let me inform you, my sister.
Well, my name is Eric.
When the vice president.
Hello, Mr. Amon.
Yes.
Yeah, you're speaking to a gentleman, please.
Oh, sorry.
Continue.
Yeah, Chief. Can you hear me now?
Go on.
I hear some noises around. Okay. So what I'm saying is that when the vice president was conceding, did you listen to him? He made reference to the peace pact. When Madam Jemeza was also declaring the results, he made a lot of mention of the Peace Council. You go back and listen. Our role must be understood by the people of Ghana. The Peace Council is to serve you. This is the model is a jealous of so many countries around us. People around are coming to learn from the Peace Council model. I can count as many as 16 countries who have come to this country to understudy the Ghanaian model. So we have something that all of us might be proud of. It is, those who crafted the National Peace Council model, I think did that with a lot of love for this country. And I think that we have to hold the Peace Council well. If there's something we are not doing right, it is within the right of every Ghanaian to critique it. But to question the relevance, anybody who understands governance and who really understands the governance system of our country today would not underrate the role Peace Council is playing.
Mr. Amo, thank you once again for your time this evening.
Good. Thank you.
George Amo over there with the National Peace Council on the back of the post-election violence that we have been experiencing. Well, it says people who question the relevance of the National Peace Council would have to rethink again, because they have a role to play and they have played their role. But let's do some more news here, but still on issues of, well, away from that, let's do education. And the president-elect, John Dramani Mahama, has raised concerns about the funding crisis currently affecting Ghana's education sector from basic school to tertiary institutions. Speaking during an engagement with key stakeholders in the education sector, the president-elect highlighted that the entire education system is faced with severe financial constraint due to the absence of consistent and dedicated funding. According to Mahama, there is a need for a consultative forum involving all relevant stakeholders to explore solutions to the funding challenges with a goal of establishing a sustainable funding model that can also address the immediate and long-term need of the sector. Still on matters of education, the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary School, CHAS, has called on the Ministry of Education to immediately release outstanding funds critical to smooth operation of senior high school across Ghana as they prepare to reopen for the 2025 academic year. In a communique, the conference referenced earlier responses dated September 20, 2024 and August 12, 2024, as well as assurance given by the Minister of Education during a Zoom meeting on December 18, 2024, all which failed to be implemented. Now, CHAS said in its communique that the arrears the government owes in perishable items and unpaid utility bills, among others, continue to hinder the operations of SHS across the country. The association also emphasized that these funds are vital for ensuring schools can open and schedule on January 3, 2025. Without these resources, CHAS said, SHS schools heads will face immense challenges in providing quality education and maintaining infrastructure and safeguarding student welfare. CHAS is therefore urging the Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Education to prioritize the release of the funds to ensure a smooth operations. Well, also in education, the West African Examination Council, WAEC, has expressed disappointment over the 25 million Ghana cedis recently released by the government to help offset part of the 108 million debt owed to council, 180 million debt owed to the council. Now, according to WAEC, this amount is insufficient to allow the release of the 2024 West African Senior School Certificate Examination results, now which are also currently delayed due to the government's indebtedness. In an interview with ABC News Ghana, WAEC's head of public relations, John Kapi, highlighted the inadequacy of the fund provided. The delayed release of the WASI result has raised significant concerns among stakeholders, including students, parents, and educational institutions, as financial challenges facing WAEC continues to hinder its operations.
But our budget usually come out in October the preceding year. So, for example, our budget for 2025 has already been presented. Now, so when the time comes for us to start our processes, we'll write to them and indicate that we're about to start this, and so we would need some funding. Now, they send you money in bits, and these monies are not adequate for us to be able to do everything that we need to do. After speak, several letters have gone to the ministry. The last letter that went up was as late as last Tuesday, just about 3 days ago. So we have kept in constant touch, and each time, even after sending the hard copy, we send a soft copy to the phone of the minister, just so that he knows that there's an urgent need for them to release funds to us. Well, obviously, we would have challenges. We would never store any process. We are like a conveyor belt. It's our turn to conduct exams and release results so that the candidates can go to school. Now, we always have our calendar Unfortunately, the exams were written at a time when it would have been difficult for us to even make the candidates go to school in October, all right, because BEC was done and WAS was done almost immediately afterwards. And so we had to take our time and make sure that we do the right thing. You know, so for us, we had on our calendar the 19th of December to release the results based on the time that the exams were written in the period within which the mark will be done and the processing of results. But as we speak, if these scanners are not fixed, I am afraid we will not be able to keep to our timeline, and this obviously would affect university admission.
And in response to the ongoing issues surrounding the delayed release of the 2024 WASSCE result and the government's recent 25 million Ghana cedis payments to WAEC, Irene Sam, Deputy PRO of the National Council of the Parent Teachers Association, has raised serious concerns over the adequacy of government's actions. According to her, the government's approach has been far from forthcoming, leading to continued agitation among parents who feel their concerns are not being addressed.
Put government in a good light at all. And as we have said, the NCPTA is a very strong voice. And over the years, we have been hammering this particular issue that government should look at the quality again. Their commitment to the policy is not forthcoming. Therefore, we should have a way of seeing to it that we ascertain this issue and see how we can solve it. But you see, all these ones have fallen on deaf ears over the years. Even government tried to disintegrate our noble association and to make it their own party or whatever that they want to make it, and then for them to even to control the PTAs. So you see that woefully they have not performed very well in this regard. The commitment to government has not been forthcoming, and this has caused this kind of delay in the WASSCE as a result that we are all anticipating that by now parents should have it, and then we should know how.
Let's go on the phone and have a conversation with the former director of Ghana Education Service, Mr. Charles Aheto Shega, on the back of this. Sir, good evening. Hello, Mr. Charles. Unfortunately, we have lost Mr. Charles Aheto on the phone. Mr. Charles, I believe you're back on the line. Hello, good evening. Well, we're trying so hard again to engage. He's on. Mr. Charles Aheto, good evening once again.
Yes, good evening.
I mean, you have been following it, and I believe you have been following the conversation around GES, WASSCE, and other hullabaloo that have, generated from the education system. But given your extensive experience at GES, how would you also assess the Ministry of Education's handling of funding on schools recent years? And for instance, are these financial delays as a result of poor planning, or there is a broader economic challenges that we need to pay attention to?
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I think you just hit the nail on the head. It's largely poor planning and poor prioritization. I think that if the Ministry of Education, for any stretch of the imagination, considered the WAEC process very crucial to them, they would have made every effort to ensure that WAEC continue to remain very, very relevant by ensuring that all resources due them are given to them to operate effectively.
Now, Charles has also called for a delay in the reopening of schools due to these financial issues. Do you think these reasons are reasonable, or the demands you're asking for is too much?
Well, for them, I can say that they are being very realistic in the sense that, here they are going to reopen school, the students will be in school, they are not too sure when money is arriving for them to do any other purchases to top up the kind of releases that will be coming. And it is very risky to get students, gathering together in environments like that and not create a further confusion about the security of the school. So they are presenting to the government a real or realistic situation of what would happen when schools reopen at this time when there aren't enough resources in the schools to be able to literally take care of the children to be in the schools. So they've done no wrong. I think that the government should listen to them and take the advice and postpone the reopening until such time that it has considered and provided enough resources to the schools to ensure that schools can open and function effectively.
Even when government has made some payment of about 25 million, they should still have to maintain their position on this issue?
Well, I guess you're mixing the Examinations Council and the CHAS issue. Because, well, if it's on the Examinations Council issue, 25 million definitely would not meet all the commitments that WAEC has to ensure that examination results are processed timely. So, I mean, it is in everybody's interest for government to try and ensure that it provides the money that WAEC needs to perform a very good job. I don't know why anybody should settle for anything less in ensuring that WAEC is being an effective organization. So for me, I think WAEC is being very reasonable. Remember that other people have been involved in this particular situation. It's not just the organization that we are looking at other groups of people that they have hired to ensure that they will be able to meet the target of releasing the results on time. And just wonder how these people do not get money, for the work they have done. And you can foresee the kind of confusion that we are preparing ourselves for in the future. So I think that this is not a negotiable situation. Government must pay. It knows that the money would, it knows about this amount of money, and for the purpose of, for not releasing those resources at the right time, is itself a very unfortunate situation, to say the least, by any government who is serious about education.
And in this situation, what steps should be taken to also prevent this situation from escalating?
Oh, well, the simple step that has to be taken is for government to look for resources and settle WAEC, so that WAEC settles its other vendors in the process of producing its results, and then making it easy for our students to prepare and enter into the next stage of their education. I don't think I don't think it's very necessary for us to delay any payment. Government must pay the money. We know they have the money, and they must put it there. That's all.
Mr. Charles Aheto, this evening we are grateful for your time.
Thank you very much.
We have been speaking to former Director of Ghana Education Service, Charles Aheto Chega, on this. But away from that, let's do some more stories and matters relating to health. Now, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has advised the public, especially children, pregnant women, and other adults and persons with pre-existing heart and lung disease to wear a nose mask to keep safe from the current dusty, dry air. The agency has also cautioned us. I beg your pardon. The agency has cautioned susceptible persons to limit outdoor activities, noting that the population levels could trigger allergic reactions and worsen condition, including asthma. The main constituent of the dust is particularly master PM, which is 2.5 fine, smaller particles which can penetrate deep into the respiratory and cardiovascular system and impair and normal functions of organs and are hazardous to health. Now, the PMS are seen as unseen tiny pieces of solids or liquids in air. The particles include dust, dirt, soot, and smoke. The observation, which began on December 13, has air quality index between unhealthy and sensitive groups of very unhealthy from 13th December to date. Now, the EPA's observation is in line with information from the Ghana Meteorological Agency daily forecast and significant dust in the air originating from the Sahel region, resulting in poor visibility. Predictions are that the weather conditions can be experienced until the latter part of December. However, from that, let's bring you some business news after this. And in business, the Ghanaian cedi is forecasted to end 2024 at 16.7 Ghana cedis to the dollar, and it's projected to further depreciate to 17.23 Ghana cedis by the end of 2025, according to estimates by the Economic Intelligence Unit, that's the EIU. Current Bank of Ghana data as of December 23, 2024 indicates the cedi is trading at 14.70 Ghana cedis to $1. To the depreciation trajectory has also been attributed to multiple factors. Now, the 2024 cedi experienced significant volatility, losing about 25% of its value against the dollar in the first 9 months, in improvement from 2022 when it's depreciated over 50%, earning the little of world's worst performing currency by Bloomberg. By August 2024, the cedi ranked as 5th worst performing currency globally. This volatility has been largely driven by increased foreign exchange demand to import fuel, pharmaceutical and other essential goods. Nonetheless, Ghana recorded an accretion in gross external reserves, rising to $6.9 billion by mid-2024, sufficient to recover 3.1 months of imports. Away from business, let's bring you some sports news. And in sports, the Christmas season is set for another tough game in the Ghana Premier League as struggling Legon Cities host Aduana FC at the University of Ghana Stadium to kickstart match day 15 of the Premier League on Boxing Day. The Royals must pull the Chestnuts out of the blazing fire in their quest to avoid the drop following a difficult campaign this season. Basake Holy Stars welcome in from Bechem United to the Crosby Wa Memorial Park, while the league leaders, Heart of Lions and Seton, entertain Premier League new boys, Young Apostles at home. The two matches will also take place on Boxing Day, December 26, 2024, in Asante Kotoko face off against second place Gold Stars FC at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in Kumasi on Friday's only game, with 4 matches fixed for Sunday, December 29. Accra Lions host Heart of Oak at the Wafa Park in Sogakope on Sunday, while Vision FC makes the long journey to Tamale to battle Kerala United. Brecum Chelsea entertains struggling Dreams FC at the Golden City Park, while defending champions FC Samatex 1996 return to Instrachui Arena to battle Nations FC. Instructraman FC's home match against Mediama FC has been postponed to January 8, 2025. International update after this. The death toll from Cyclone Chido in Mozambique has risen to 94, according to the country's disaster management agency. The cyclone has made landfall in northern Mozambique a week ago, and Mozambique's Institute for Natural Disaster on Thursday had given the death toll at 73. The Indian Ocean archipelago Mayotte bore the brunt of the storms. Officials also in Mayotte, which is one of France's poorest overseas terrorists, have only been able to confirm 35 fatalities from Chido, but some have said they fear thousands could have been killed. Olamide Harrison, the International Monetary Fund's Mozambique residents representative, said on Wednesday that the country's 2024 economic growth is likely to be revised down from a previous forecast of 4.3% due to the impact of the cyclone and post-election civil unrest. A human rights chief has reported that more than 700 people have been killed in the siege of Sudan's al-Fashir in North Darfur State since May. The UN Rights Office has documented the death of at least 782 civilians and more than 1,143 injured, citing evidence-based but partly on interviews of those who had fled the area. The casualties came amid regular and intensive shelling of the rapid support forces of densely populated residential areas, as well as recurrent airstrikes by the Sudanese armed forces. The UN Human Rights Office has stated that such attacks on civilians may account to war crimes. We're back with Timothy Taint News. Do stay. An entertainment chaos erupted at the Soul Beach in Lagos on Saturday night when the stage collapsed during Nigerian rapper Odumodu Black's performance at the star-studded Native Land concert. The night took a shocking turn when the stage gave way mid-performance, leaving the audience and organizers in disbelief. Following the incident, social media was flooded with concern for rapper and his team. Odumodu Black is known for his high-energy performance and signature traditional Akpu Ugu hat, a key member of the anti-world gangster hip-hop collective. The artist recently gained attention for collaborating with Chike on Davido's hit single Fans. Fans are hopeful that the rapper and organizers will bounce back from the mishap which overshadowed the event. Let's take a look at what happened.
Okay. Who's up in the building? Black people are black people.